Hi everyone. Today, let me tell you a story about Magnolia, a sweet dog whose life was nearly cut short by a massive tumor. Do you wonder how this brave girl overcame such an overwhelming challenge and found a second chance at life? Stay tuned for today's story on Pets in Love and find out. Magnolia's journey began on a rain-soaked stretch of Mahogany Road, hidden in the heart of the St. Croix rainforest. When she was found, her frail body bore the weight of a massive 15-pound tumor protruding from her side. The people who discovered her could hardly believe the sight. A sweet, middle-aged Pitbull, barely able to walk, her spirit flickering but not extinguished. Shock rippled through the hearts of those who found her. Her gaunt frame, the massive tumor, and the sorrow in her eyes. With hope in their hearts, they made a call to the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center, where her story would change forever. It was a late afternoon when Joe and Marissa spotted Magnolia, huddled in the underbrush near the roadside. "Oh my God, is she even alive?" Marissa gasped as they cautiously approached. At the sound of their voices, Magnolia's eyes flickered open, and a faint wag of her tail revealed her yearning for connection. Kneeling down beside her, they spoke gently. "Hey, sweet girl, we're here to help you," Joe whispered, stroking her head tenderly. That's when they saw the massive tumor, swollen and stretched against her fragile frame. "We have to get her help," Marissa said, her voice shaking with emotion. Realizing the severity of the situation, Joe immediately called the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center, explaining what they had found and asking for urgent assistance. Within minutes, the team responded. "We'll be there as fast as we can," they assured him, and within the hour, a rescue team arrived, bringing a stretcher to carefully transport Magnolia to safety. At the shelter, Dr. Michelle Mahalik and the team were stunned when they first laid eyes on Magnolia. "This is the largest tumor I've ever seen," Dr. Mahalik said, her face a mix of disbelief and resolve. The team immediately ran diagnostics, including X-rays. The good news was that the tumor hadn't spread to her organs. No sign of cancer spreading to her organs meant that Magnolia had a fighting chance, but her quality of life at that moment was zero. She could barely stand, let alone walk. The risks of surgery were immense. The tumor's size posed significant challenges, from blood loss to potential complications during removal. The team's determination was unshakable. Magnolia's spirit inspired them to fight for her life. "We have to try," Dr. Mahalik said, as she prepared for what would be a marathon surgery. The center's team immediately decided that surgery was the only way to save her. The tumor had to be removed, no matter the risk. Surgery was the only option to give Magnolia a chance at a future. It was a tough decision, but sometimes when you see an animal with that much will to live, you know you have to do whatever it takes. Magnolia wasn't giving up, neither was anyone at the center. They had a plan, and they were determined to see it through. The day of Magnolia's surgery arrived with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. The team at the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center knew this was a make-or-break moment. Yet, the sheer size of the mass and its location near critical organs posed significant risks. Dr. Michelle Mahalik led the surgical team. "We're not just removing a tumor, we're giving her a second chance," she told her colleagues, her voice steady but tinged with the weight of responsibility. Magnolia was prepped with utmost care, IV lines secured, anesthesia carefully administered, and every piece of equipment double-checked. As the procedure began, the room was tense. The incision revealed the tumor's complex entanglement with surrounding tissue. "We're going to have to take this slowly," Dr. Mahalik instructed, her hands precise and deliberate. Minutes turned into hours as the team worked in unison. At one critical point, the tumor's attachment to a major blood vessel presented a life-threatening challenge. "Clamp here, now," Dr. Mahalik directed, her calm demeanor keeping the team focused. A collective sigh of relief followed as they successfully stemmed the bleeding. Finally, the tumor was removed and placed on a scale. The room fell silent for a moment as everyone absorbed the sight. 15 pounds, one vet tech murmured, shaking her head. As Magnolia was sutured and her vitals stabilized, a sense of triumph filled the air. Dr. Mihalik stepped back, wiping her brow. "She made it," she said, her voice soft but triumphant. When the door opened and Dr. Mihalik stepped into the waiting area, "She's stable. She made it," the doctor announced. Outside, the storm clouds had parted, sunlight breaking through, a symbol of Magnolia's new beginning. That first night after surgery, Magnolia rested in the clinic's recovery kennel under constant watch. Her fragile body, still reeling from the removal of her massive tumor, was cocooned in warm blankets. IV fluids steadily hydrated her, and the quiet hum of medical equipment provided a steady backdrop. Staff whispered soft words of encouragement as they checked her vitals every hour, hoping for signs of improvement. The next morning brought a moment of unexpected joy. Magnolia, defying the odds, managed to stand on unsteady legs. Her stubby tail wagged faintly as she accepted a small bowl of chicken and rice, eating with surprising gusto. "She probably feels like she's walking on air," a staff member said, eyes glistening as they witnessed her determination. However, recovery wasn't as simple as it seemed. That night, things took a turn for the worse. Magnolia struggled. She wasn't eating on her own, and her energy was low. She looked weak, and her color was off. Her white blood cell count had risen, indicating an infection, and the team was worried. As anyone who's ever cared for an animal can tell you, those moments when things start to slide backward are the toughest. It's a gut-wrenching feeling when you fought so hard for their recovery, only to watch them struggle again. But Magnolia wasn't giving up, and neither were the staff. Dr. Mihalik and her team quickly adjusted her medications, ran tests, and put her back on IV fluids to keep her stable. Slowly, Magnolia started to improve. By the next morning, she was wagging her tail again, standing on her own, and eating a little bit. It was a glimmer of hope that kept everyone going. Recovery is rarely a smooth path, but Magnolia's spirit and the dedication of the team kept pushing her forward. After Magnolia's surgery, she was carefully moved into a foster home where she could get the one-on-one attention she so desperately needed. This was a new chapter for her, a chance to rest, heal, and experience the comfort of a loving environment outside the shelter walls. Her foster caregivers dedicated themselves to giving Magnolia the best care possible. They made sure she received all her medications, monitored her healing incision, and provided a safe, cozy space for her to rest. As Magnolia's health improved, her sweet and affectionate personality began to shine through. For the first time in a long time, she was free from pain, and it showed. She wagged her tail eagerly at anyone who came near, seeking out human interaction and enjoying belly rubs and scratches. Magnolia had a remarkable ability to connect with the people around her gentle nature evident in every interaction. Her foster family's patience and dedication gave Magnolia a chance to feel safe and secure for the first time in her life. It was clear that she was ready for a permanent home, one that could provide her with the stability she needed to continue healing. Finding Magnolia a permanent home was no small task. After all, it wasn't just about finding any family. It was about finding the right family for this special dog who had endured so much. The St. Croix Animal Welfare Center worked tirelessly to find a match, knowing that Magnolia needed a patient and understanding family that could help her overcome her food aggression and provide the love and attention she deserved. The right family came in the form of the Baker family, who fell in love with Magnolia during her foster care period. They saw her sweet nature, her love for human companionship, and knew she was the right fit for their home. While Magnolia's food aggression presented a challenge, the Bakers were committed to working through it. They understood that she needed time and patience to adjust, especially after all she had been through. With the support of the shelter, they continued working on managing her behavior and providing her with a calm and structured routine. Adopting a special needs dog like Magnolia isn't for everyone, but the Bakers' dedication showed just how much love and understanding can make a difference. Fostering and adopting animals with special needs takes an exceptional person who is willing to put in the time and effort to make sure the animal lives a fulfilling life. For the Bakers, adopting Magnolia was about giving her the chance she deserved, and they were committed to doing whatever it took to help her thrive. Magnolia's life took a remarkable turn after being adopted by the Baker family. The once abandoned sick dog who had been left to fend for herself was now living in a home filled with love and care. Over time, she began to flourish. Her health continued to improve, and her food aggression became more manageable with the help of the Baker family's consistent and patient training. Magnolia's journey wasn't over, but she had finally found her place in the world, surrounded by people who loved her unconditionally. It's hard to believe that just a few months ago, Magnolia was abandoned in the rainforest, carrying a massive tumor that prevented her from even walking. Yet today, she is a thriving companion, happy, healthy, and full of life. Magnolia's success story wouldn't have been possible without the tireless efforts of the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center, who worked around the clock to provide her with the medical care and emotional support she needed. Their dedication was a driving force behind her recovery, and they continued to support the Baker family as they worked with Magnolia to help her settle into her new life. What an incredible journey Magnolia has had. From being abandoned and left to suffer alone in the rainforest, to finding a forever home filled with love and care. If you've been inspired by Magnolia's journey, or if you've ever considered adopting or fostering a special needs animal, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you have a rescue story of your own? Or perhaps you've been thinking about making a difference in an animal's life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for being part of this journey. If you find our video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Finally, don't forget to turn on our bell and subscribe to our channel, Pets in Love, so you don't miss any of our new videos. Thank you for your support. Wishing you all peace, happiness, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.